Welcome back from the break. Here's our roving reporter, Mick the Publican, in Maine on the east coast of the US, and he's going to check out lobster fishing.
G'day on the water fans, Mick the Publican reporting from Rockland, Maine in the USA. You may remember last year's adventures aboard the schooner Isaac H. Evans. Well, I'm back to have a look at another of Maine's attractions, Homerus americanus. We're going to learn today how you turn one of these into one of these bad boys. Maine is the northeasternmost state of the USA, bordering with Canada. We are visiting Rockland, which is situated on Penobscot Bay. Rockland is a traditional fishing village, home not only to the commercial lobster fishermen but also to the historic schooner fleet. These schooners attract tourists to enjoy the magnificent sailing waters and uninhabited islands. 100 years ago, these sailing vessels made up the commercial fleet. Today, diesel engines, radar and GPS superseded them. We're currently aboard my good friend Sean's new boat, the Rendezvous, aptly named because we're going to rendezvous with Shane Hatch, a lobsterman who works out of Rockland, out around at Owl's Head, out and around that point. And that's where we're going to learn all about the lobster industry, how to catch them, and how to come home with 5 on each hand. We're aboard Miss Jill at the moment, lobster boat out of Rockland in Maine, owned and operated by Shane Hatch. Welcome to the show, welcome to On the Water.
Oh, it's great to be here. Great to have you aboard.
Thanks. Tell us a little bit about what you do.
Well, this is my 38-foot offshore vessel. I haul lobster traps. I've got 800 lobster traps. I fish between 260, 270 roughly every day. All depending on what you gotta do. We gotta shift them, gotta keep them on the lobsters to make money. And I've been doing this since I was 8 years old. This is the 5th boat that I've had since I started lobstering. And I've had this boat for 5 years now. And I take it offshore, 40 to 50 miles offshore in the wintertime. And try to keep myself sane.
So you're 21.
Yes.
That's right, isn't it? And you've been doing it since you were 8 years old as a deckhand?
No, I own my own boat and trap since I've been 8.
Since you were 8 years old?
Yep. Yeah. I had a handful of traps given to me from a friend of my father's in Port Clyde, and my grandfather had an outboard that he gave to me, and a skiff that my dad had, and paid my dad back for the skiff and started fishing.
I've read up on the offshore lobsters can be up to 3 feet long and 40 pounds. Have you seen anything like that?
Yeah, I have seen a bunch of those lobsters. I've seen them more ground fishing or shrimping, not so much in lobster traps, because it's pretty hard for a lobster to get into a trap quite like that and fit. But I have seen them before, and they are out there.
Have you ever caught a blue one?
Yeah, I've caught 2 blue ones. One had 1 claw and one had no claws. And I also caught a yellow lobster last year that they put us in the newspaper and on Channel 6 News for.
Yeah.
All yellow lobster.
The blue ones are 1 in 2 million, I've read. What are the yellow ones?
Is that? I think it was 1 in 30 million.
30 million?
Yeah.
That's an extra tasty one.
Yeah, it was extra tasty, okay.
Due to overfishing early last century of the lobster's natural predator, the codfish, the population's at a point now where it can sustain an estimated 3 million traps between New York and the Canadian border. To ensure the sustainability of the industry, after being caught, each lobster must be measured, sexed, checked for eggs and a V-notch. Females with eggs must be notched and released. A notch is a V-shaped cut in its tail fin to let the next fisherman know that she is a proven breeder and must be released in the future. Notching is a simple procedure done with either a knife or a clipper. Lobsters must be measured from the eye socket to the base of the carapace, or the bottom part of the main shell. All undersized lobsters are unceremoniously dispatched back into the drink. All keepers are then banded to immobilise both claws. This ensures they don't fight each other in the holding tank and also protects any inexperienced chefs in restaurants across the country. Shane and Dan will pull up and move if necessary up to 280 traps per day. on every possible day throughout the season. Each time the old bait is removed and thrown overboard to the ever-present gulls who follow the fleet in search for a free feed. The bait bags are then refilled with salted herring. Interestingly, recent findings show that only the lobsters in the trap at the time of retrieval are caught. They are now known to enter the trap, eat and leave. The trap's hinges are designed to degrade over time in case they are lost. This ensures that they don't sit on the ocean floor catching and killing entrapped lobsters. What's a good season? How many pounds in a top season?
Good year for one of the highliner fishermen would be probably around 100,000 pounds throughout a year. And that would be going all year long. And then you've got an average fisherman that would set the gear out in April, May, pick them up probably Christmas time. It'd be, 40, 50,000 pounds throughout a year. And an average day in the summer for myself probably be like a 300-pound haul. And then the fall we get upwards of 1,000 pounds a day out of 270, 280, 260.
What's the pound price?
Right now it's $4.20 a pound, I believe. And then, of course, in the summertime when they first shed, the price is lower than that. And in the wintertime it goes up because there isn't as many around.
So Shane, can I have a go?
Of course you can. Anytime.
Thanks,
You're always welcome.
We're at the end of Pinchy's journey here at the Tradewinds Hotel. I'd like to take the opportunity to thank Sean and Brenda from Isaac Evans and Rendezvous, Shane and Dan from Miss Jill, Dan at the Tradewinds Hotel for cooking Pinchy. Pinchy, it was great to be on the water with you. Yum.